Jenny and I didn't want to have a bazillion groups to have to try to keep track of. It's hard enough as it is. So guys, we're excited for you to be in Private Label in the Box with us. As we go forward and do this, we really covet your advice, your feedback, because we want to make it better. You guys are on the side of using the product and know what it does. We're going to tell you more about what it does and how to take advantage of it tonight. I imagine this is going to be a quick webinar unless there's lots of questions. But we want to make it better. We wanted to serve your needs. In the webinar we just did in the main group, Jenny was saying how, because Jenny and I are so active in the group, we can kind of get a gauge and a feel and see where people are in their business and create content, create products that meet those needs. And so that's all this is. We started this group in April of 2015, and it was just some PDF lessons. That's all it was. And then we thought, hey, wait, there's some people that aren't like, me and you, Jenny, that she and I would rather read a PDF. But we know folks that would rather watch videos. And so we thought, well, hey, would it be cool to do videos so we made it a webinar series and recorded it. We just did the lessons and recorded those, and it became essentially video lessons. And then we started, we had other people saying, no, this is really cool, but I still need more. I need a little bit more hand-holding, a little more help. So we did these little mastermind groups where we had 8 people. We did that for a while. That was fun. And we were just on the last webinar we're going to do a take action group that's 35 people, because we know there's some folks that just need a little bit more. And we've heard that feedback, and we're kind of just taking the group in the direction that is going to help meet the needs of the folks that are there. And we know there's some in the group that we've never ever heard from and that are launching really big businesses, and we don't even know it because they've taken the lessons and ran with it and done really well. And that's cool too. There's all different levels here. And the Private Label in the Box is for folks that either, number one, don't have time to do the research or just don't want to. They're using it as a way to outsource their business and just say, here, you give us some fines and we're going to run with it and do that with it. And so that's what this is. It's just kind of a response to a need that we saw in the group. But having said that, we know that it's not everything that it could be. It can be better than it is. We think it's good, but it could be better. And we would love to have some ideas on what you think would make it be better, what would serve your needs. And if there's a way for us to plug that feedback in and make it actually part of it, then we'll try to do that. So but we're excited about Private Label in a Box. We struggled with it for a long time with the concept of how to make it happen, how to make it work. Like if we were going to give all these deals, all these fines away, why wouldn't we just put them into our own business? But the answer to that is we can't do them all. There's thousands of potential products that are in Private Label in the Box, and that Jenny and I personally could never ever do. We don't have the time nor the funds to launch every single one of them. And so that's why we thought, hey, let's create a product that allows people who just kind of want to shortcut the research phase a little bit and to get right into it and just test those products that are there. So let me share my screen. Jenny, anything else you want to say?
No, well, actually, yeah, I would say no, and then I go and say something.
Yeah,
yeah, I think that one thing that we made this decision early on that Private Label in a Box is not for training, that the training happens in the proven private label lessons. We didn't want to create something that competed with that. We wanted it to complement that. And so the focus of Private Label in a Box is to provide resources and shortcuts that complement the methods and strategies we teach in the proven private label program. Mm-hmm. So any training that we do that is about private label, we focus that to the proven private label group. However, here we are on this webinar, right? So we realized that, how can we make this better? And one of the things that we wanted to do was show you guys how to really use this resource. And so we wanted to have these webinars. We're going to start tonight. We're going to dig into one of the sections, and we're going to do an overview and then dig into one of the sections in the Private Label in a Box to show you why it's the way it is and how that benefits you and how to make the most out of it. So even though we don't do training for private label necessarily, we are going to train you to use this resource. Okay. Yeah. So just wanted to kind of make that differentiation. in the feedback, we'd love feedback. We'd love to hear, this is for you guys. We're here to serve you. This is what, it would be nothing without you. We want this to be a good tool for you. And if it's not, it just doesn't make sense for us to be doing that. So but keep in mind in your feedback that this is not designed for the training. Okay, the training pieces, we actually try to tell people you're better off. We encourage people to at least go through the process of the proven private label, getting a product on your own and going through that process once so that you understand what you're getting when you come into private label in a box. Now, I know not everyone heeds that advice, so we'll do what we can. You don't have to go through that, obviously, to take advantage of this, but it does, we have found that people who cancel tend to not understand how to use the resource. It's a incredible deal and value here. There's thousands of options. We are not concerned about competition with the number of people that we have coming in because we're always adding to it. The resource is, even if, first of all, the chances of everyone getting on the same product is very slim. And even if a portion of you guys did, the way that you're going to represent that product will be totally different. I mean, it's just, some people are going to use this as a launch pad. Some people are going to use it just as it is. I mean, there's just so many variables that we are absolutely not concerned about the competition and this saturating the market in any way. So just wanted to add that.
True.
Oh, and if you guys have questions, I put it in the chat, but post them in the Q&A. We'll make sure we get to them at some point. Yeah, okay. So a couple people are asking if we're capping. At this point, we have no plan to cap it. However, we're closing the doors. So I don't know where we are on the count for how many people are doing this, are in here monthly. I will tell you, I've been doing training and membership type services for a very long time. And I would say maybe 20% of the people who invest in a service take action on it. So, I don't know where we're at on numbers, but if we had 100 people, only 20 people will be going in. And you can count on that. 1,000 people, 200 people will be going in. And there are so many options. It's really not something that I think it needs to be a concern.
And it'd be the people that are on these calls that are the ones that are taking action.
Yep.
That's right. Investing the time. So here's the homepage. This is the homepage of Private Label in the Box. Real quickly, I know we did videos earlier, and I think I'm gonna update them again because a few things have changed. But there's a welcome page to start here. You can download a free copy of Private Label the easy way if you don't have that yet, which I'm sure you do because there's nobody outside the Private Label group that's in Private Label in a Box. So everybody's got the book. Then there's product section that has vetted products. Now these are products that have passed the 7-step, now 5-step test that have suppliers attached to them. And this is the section we're going to dig into tonight. There's vetted products that pass the 5-step test that don't have suppliers attached to them. And then there's vetted suppliers. These are suppliers that we have personally asked, can we take your products out of their packaging and put them into our own? And they have said yes to that question. And so whenever we have an ASD that comes up, that trade show in Vegas, there's one in March and August, we always get 20 to 30 new suppliers that gets added into Private Label in a Box as a result. So we'll have a big bunch that come in March. Now, we are looking at other ways to add vetted suppliers, hire somebody to just get on the phone with the wholesalers and start asking that question so we can continually be adding there as well, even when it's not ASD time. So that's the products. Then we have keywords. What these are keywords that have our high search volume keywords. Right now, we'll just be transparent. We get these from Keyword Inspector, the trends tool. There may be a better tool out there that we could look at to find keywords, but what we do, we have parameters that we have set for the keywords that in each category that we're looking for. And these are just keywords that people are typing into Amazon. There could be some golden gaps in these areas because you'll find keywords that don't have products associated with them.
Hold on a second. You know what? I think the link you gave me was my link.
Yes, the link I gave you was your link. So
I don't think she knows she's live. Can you just...
Yeah, I'll stop the video.
Thank you.
Yep, no problem. I don't want to remove her because... Cool. Sorry about that, whoever that is that joined.
I think it was Jean. Is she...
Oh, is it Jean? Okay, cool.
Yeah, did you remove her completely, or?
No, I
She's
didn't.
the only one I sent the link
I
to.
just paused the video. Sorry, Jean. So yeah, the link I gave you was your link because you wanted. I thought you couldn't
Sorry.
find it.
No.
Okay. Oh, no problem.
Sorry.
Yeah. So you gave her your link to get on. That's funny. That's what happened.
That's why there was an extra
Mystery
me.
solved. So the keywords are highly searched keyword terms. And you'll notice too that there's just like some gibberish keywords that don't seem to make sense. Are you
drawing all over here?
Let's see here. Let's see if I can, sorry guys. All right, change role to attendee, done. Okay.
You were trying to change it to a fly. Thing. You have red ink all over the.
I didn't do that.
You didn't put the.
Yeah, I think she did.
Oh, I see.
Hilarious. Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Can I do that? That could be fun. Wait a minute.
Yeah, you could mess around with my screen here for me if you wanted to.
Okay, so now she's logged in as me, so we have that same problem. Jean, just so you know, I sent you my link, and so you are logged in as me. So in the chat, it says it's from me. So you can have a lot of fun with that, but I'm going to trust you.
Okay, I can erase the annotations. All right, we should be good.
Sorry about that.
Fun. All right. So you'll notice like some of the keywords don't seem to make sense, and that's okay. The reason we have decided to keep them in there is because there are people that are Amazon customers that are searching for those terms. And so if you can figure out what they're looking for, like a lot of them might be part numbers, item numbers for things. And when you click on those, nothing comes up on Amazon. So there are Amazon buyers that are searching for certain things and aren't seeing it. Those are golden gaps. And so now whether those end up being private label opportunities for you or not, we don't know. Those could be wholesale opportunities, but we decided to leave them in because they are gaps and you can choose to fill them however you see fit. And then there's the packaging section that we have lists to lots of different packaging options that you can use. Then there's the listing template. This is created by Abe Ortolani. He's just a complete master at creating listings. And then Jenny added the private label rights stuff. Let's go in there real quick. Do you want to explain what that is real fast?
Sure. So this is actually available to you once you're in the group for 30 days. So private label rights is content that's been written that you can claim authorship on. So it's like private label information, basically, okay? And it usually comes in the form of articles. Sometimes you can get full-on reports, you can get recipes, you can get all kinds of stuff, but it's all content, it's information. And so here's some PLR that we've added. I'm gonna work on getting more to throw in there every once in a while. And the license is basically you can take this and you can give it away. You can put it into a book. I recommend changing it up a little bit. So you could take this whole, like this article pack here is, yeah, let's go. Like the
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that. Pet health insurance. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 articles about pet health insurance. So you could take these articles and put them into some sort of book. You could take these apart and maybe create some sort of checklist, what you must know about pet health insurance. Maybe that's some sort of checklist type of a thing. Questions to ask the doctor. You can make that a checklist. So maybe you have a product that this would fit with, some sort of pet product, and you take the understanding pet health insurance, the questions to ask in order to find the best pet health insurance. That is a tongue twister. And put those on some sort of laminated card or something like that, and you include that with your product, or you could put them in a book and use CreateSpace to have a product as well that you can create a bundle with to help increase your value in your private label product, turn it into a bundling it with information. You can use this for ebooks and stuff like that. Amazon does not want you to take PLR and use it to put into like a Kindle book or even a CreateSpace book as it is. You have got to really change it up and use it different, but you really don't have to recreate the wheel with these topics. So you can use this PLR. What was the other thing I was going to say? And I recommend, I get this question a lot. If people say, hey, can I use this for an ebook? Like I said, you can, but I wouldn't recommend it necessarily, but I don't want to say, don't just use it as it is. I also want to say having an ebook doesn't really increase the value of your bundle like a physical product does with information on it. So if it's like a postcard that's laminated or a book, something like that actually adds value, the customer will see a higher perceived value. If you're going to go into the work to put something together that's information and content based, turn it into something physical that you can actually physically bundle. So that's kind of what the PLR, the purpose of that here. I might go ahead and put, I don't think there is a copy of my book in here, which will talk about how to use information. So I'll throw that in on this page. I'll make a note to do that today.
All right. All right, so guys, that's kind of just a very quick overview. But what we're here to talk about is we want to dig into each section on these webinars when we have them. And so just so you know, this is kind of a living, breathing database of information. Things are changing and we're adding to it. And it's like, for example, right here, the 7-step test, we're going to change that to the 5-step test to kind of to be consistent with what we're teaching in the private label group. But so here is vetted products with suppliers. Again, these are products that pass the 7-step test or now the 5-step test and that have supplier ideas where you could get the actual product from a supplier. All right. And so let me show you like an example, Crown Sales USA. This is one. Then this is like what we're going to be doing is taking all these products here and putting them into the vetted products without suppliers, because we had a couple of folks that said that they have not been able to get a hold of anybody at Crown Sales. Now that's really odd because I've talked to them at ASD. So I have no idea why they would not want to take somebody's order, but obviously I care about you guys and don't want any kind of vendor in here that's not going to return a call or allow somebody to place an order. That's just ridiculous. So they're going to be gone. They're already gone from the vetted supplier section. But when we added some new products, some of the products from them got added here. So, but these are still good ideas. We're just going to remove them and put these over into the vetted products without suppliers section. So what we want to do is we want to show you how we arrive at this and how we populate this, so you know where each of these things are coming from, the thought process, the method behind this. And you guys, you're welcome to do this on your own and do it, and we actually encourage you to. But so you know how private label in a box is populated and organized, this is what we do. So let's say that, let's use an example of Great Lakes Wholesale, which is down here. One of the suppliers. So we had, now we have, just so you guys know, we have some helpers to help us out to populate this stuff. Sometimes Ginny and I will do it, but sometimes we have Nathan Clary does a lot of the keyword stuff. Stephen Hibbert helps us out with the vetted products. I do a lot of the suppliers when I go to ASD. And so it's not always Ginny and I that are populating this stuff. And so, but these guys know what they're doing. We've trained them well, and we look over the results. But so we have Great Lakes Wholesale here. The way this works is, let's pretend like we were on the Great Lakes Wholesale site, all right? So this is the page it came from. But Great Lakes Wholesale is a company that I have personally talked to. They show at ASD, and they are okay with us switching products, taking products out of their packaging and putting into our own. And so we have either I'll do this or Ginny will do this or Steven does this a lot. We'll look at this site and just start kind of browsing through it. So we might go to the household cleaning section and say, okay, let's go to, where would I find maybe the cleaning supplies? Is that where I'd find the actual pot scrapers? Maybe.
Oh, for that one.
Maybe not. Maybe that would be kitchen.
I don't know. I just searched. Yeah.
Probably housewares and kitchen tools. Okay, so what we would, this is the process. We look through here and we think, what's generic, non-brand driven? What's small? Has very few moving parts and is going to be light? Just thinking about the 7 or the 5-step, we're going to have to get used to calling it the 5-step test. The 5-step test, thinking through what's generic, non-brand driven, what's small, what has not very many moving parts. Those three main things that we're thinking about. Because we don't know if there's enough demand and we don't know about competition yet. So we're just kind of looking at these products. Now, kind of the hard thing, but it's actually a good thing, is that almost all of these are going to be generic, non-brand driven. Almost literally all of them. Mm-hmm. Almost all of them are going to be small, and almost all of them are going to have very few moving parts, if any. Like there's really nothing on this page. Maybe this wastebasket. Now it's really big. This trash can is probably going to be oversized as well. So those are things that you would pass over. But let's say the pot scraper is on this page. Okay, here's the actual link to it right here. So what we do is we go on to Amazon, all right, and we type in the word pot scraper.
Well, okay, let's back up a minute. Go back to the pot scraper wholesale. Okay, so basically what you're saying, Ryan, is that somebody, I don't know who did this one, maybe Steven, went and they were going through Great Lakes Wholesale Group and going through their catalog, came across this product, and then they said, okay, how would customers
let's get that step. There you go.
And so they look for, probably pot scraper. That's the root word. Silicone grip would be a niched down, is what I would say. But I would we start with that root word. This is kind of what we do on a rabbit trail call. So if you've been on any of those with us, you understand a little bit more of what we're doing. But take that root word pot scraper, which is what Ryan did, and he's taking that now into Amazon to see if it passes the 7-step test.
Yep. Yeah. So yes, that's exactly what we do. I skipped that step. You have to think, how would somebody search for this product? What would be the keyword that somebody would search for on Amazon? And so we just use pot scraper as an example. There may be another term that would also point to the same product. And then we just run either Scope or Jungle Scout. Let's do Scope.
So the reason that we have that column on the private label in a box list there is so that you know what term we used to validate that product.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, I'll go through all those categories, all those columns for you real quick too. But yep, that's right. So Scope. So this is an addition to Scope that you guys can get. We'll show you how to get. The guy that's working on it for me might make this available too. But so basically, this passes. So if hopefully you know about the demand test and the competition test. That's why there's no training in private label in the box. But what we do is we look to make sure that it passes the 7-step test, now the 5-step test. So the demand test, we want to see 10. We want to see in the top 10 in the estimated sales column at least 750 sales. So you add up all of these 3869 plus 95 plus 826 and so on. The top 10 yield 5,438. So way more than 750. In the reviews column for competition, we want to see 3 or 4 with less than 50 reviews. Here, they're actually 5, and they're highlighted here. These 5 listings have less than 50 reviews, so it passes the test. And so that's why it gets added to the list, okay? And then, so it gets added to the list, and then what we do is we just type in pot scraper. Again, we go back to this actually, we just go right back here, and we look for a very popular pot scraper listing. So, like I may pick this Amazon's Choice one because it has an 89 rank in kitchen and dining. That's an insane rank, and then 2,484 reviews. So we click on this listing.
The reason you're looking for one that's popular is because you want what he's going to do. He wants a listing that has a lot of history behind it.
Yes, thank you. So you're going to have more data. And so then so the cool thing about private label in the box is that you can sign up for that and essentially save some money because we're using paid tools to populate it and to find our data. And so for the section, so here's what each section is. So if I go to the top here real quick, the vetted products with the suppliers, the validating keyword in this instance is pot scraper. Okay, the next ASIN column right here is the top selling ASIN or one of the very top selling ASINs for those results. Then the product name is the one that we chose. So when Steven went and did this, he actually chose the Pampered Chef listing, but it's okay. That's a hot listing too. Then the supplier is Great Lakes Wholesale. This section here is the link to each of these products on the Great Lakes Wholesale site or whatever site it came from. This is the category it's selling in Amazon. And this is the scope data that we just kind of added this fairly recently. We're excited about this. And so here's what we do to get that. To get that, you have to use the paid version of Scope. And so we go into this listing here. And I don't remember, Jenny, how much this is. Is it like $350 a year or something?
We have a deal though.
I think it's $3.99. We have a deal. You can get it for like $3.50. But so you guys are in private label in the box. You get this essentially for free. You can't do all the research yourself, but that's why you signed up, is you just kind of can rely on us to do it for you. And so we go to the hot selling listing. We run this scope tool, and it shows us the keywords that this listing ranks for. All right. And so when you type in cast iron skillet on Amazon and click on it, this is saying that this one scores really high for that keyword, that keyword is going to lead to this, that Lodge cast iron is going to lead to this product, that cast iron scrubber, cat iron scrubber actually, people misspelled stuff, and you're going to see misspellings in here. So we take this and we can download this report. All right. And this shows the keywords that it ranks for. It shows the search volume for these keywords. It shows the average cost per click for these keywords, which is really, really cool, because when you go to create your listings and you're thinking about the ones you want to have in your title, because you want to have 3 to 5 good keyword phrases in your title, and those are the ones that you want to run ads to. And so you'd rather pick a keyword that has a lower cost per click than a higher one. And so that's why this data is cool. Now, these are just estimates, but it at least gives you something to go by. All right, so like, for example, this one, stoneware scraper, it says an average cost per click of 3 cents to 6 cents, and it has an average search volume of 2.4 million. That's pretty good. And so that might be one that you actually start with and put in your title. And it gives you a keyword score and an estimated sales for that actual keyword, okay? And so we take this, we download it, and we upload it into this section here, and this is what that spreadsheet looks like. And you can download this onto your actual computer. Let's see if I can, should be able to, I can't know why I can't drag it for you. Oh, it's because I'm in the Google Sheets. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is just, all this is, guys, is just the download, the CSV file, and you can download this on your own system if you want. But this is all the data that you would have had to pay for by having your own paid version of Scope. And that's for that listing. So that's what each of these are. So for the bamboo desk organizer, we've done it. The drawer spice rack, we've done it. So again, we go through, we find ones that jump out at us that are generic, non-brand driven, small, not many moving parts. We go to Amazon, we check it, we type in the term, we find it on Great Lakes Wholesale. We think, how would somebody be searching for this? Let's use pot scraper. We type it in. We run Scope or Jungle Scout to see if it passes the 5-step test. If it does, it gets to go on the list. And then from there, we do the deeper data with Scope to find the keywords that you can use when you build your listing for that product. So
we're taking all of the research pieces away. So you don't have to do any of that. If you guys have been on a rabbit trail call, all the stuff that we do there, plus some, is here already done for you. And that's the point of private label in a box. And hopefully you're starting to see more of the power and the value of it.
David, you asked what's the cutoff of the keyword score. There is no cutoff because we download the whole spreadsheet. We download the whole thing. So for example, in this Lodge pan scraper listing, there's, I don't know how many, but when you click on it here, it does a downloaded report, and we just link to it here. And so when you open that link, it's all of them. So in this instance, it's 348 keywords. So we give you all of them.
Okay.
Oh, what would it look like if it falls below? I mean, what would you? Oh, it falls below 80. Okay, so you know what I actually do? Now, guys, I learn a lot from Abe, and so he really just goes through and looks at what is relevant. So what I would do with this list here, for example, let's just see it the way you would. So if this was the Pampered Chef one as the example ASIN for the pot scraper, I'd look, and first I would get it so where I could see all these, we expand it out, but I would look at all the ones that are relevant and get rid of the ones that aren't. So like Chef Dish is not, Pizza Stone Cleaner could be, Pampered Chef automatically is not, because you're not going to do a Pampered Chef listing. This Pampered Chef one is not going to work. Scrapper for glass something, that could be an option. Basically, I'd go through and get rid of all the ones that are not relevant to your product. And then just, then I probably would then go through and look at search volume, low cost per click, just pick the ones that kind of intuitively that seem like they're going to be the best. Then you're going to have a way longer keyword list than you can ever use to begin with. Pick the best 3 to 5, use those, test those in your listing and your ads. Then run the data, run your ads for 7 days like we teach in the private label group. Gather the data, look at it, and then if some aren't performing, maybe the cost per click is too high, then you scrap those and add some new ones in from the list from this list here, essentially, is what you would do. So I don't give a, I would probably, my eye would probably kind of tend to lean towards the ones that are going to have a higher score. But I wouldn't have a cutoff necessarily. So like here, pot scraper plastic, this is only a score 12, but I might still use that. So, okay, let's see. Oops. So guys, that's basically we're going to go a little bit further. What else you can do with this data? What else you can do with other ideas? So to kind of use this just as a launching pad, but that is to explain what this is here, what you're seeing on the screen. And hopefully I answered or did a good job of explaining what you're seeing here. Yeah,
you did great. And a couple just quick things. Some people can copy this. What is it that you have at the top? Is it a PDF that's downloadable or access to the Google Doc?
It's actually it's a downloadable. You can click here and download this list
as a spreadsheet. So then you can, you can rearrange it and organize the data however you want. If you want to sort by category or however you want to do that, you can do that. That was one of the questions. How long would you say the data is generally valid? I think it kind of depends on the product.
It depends on like if, as long as they still pass, as long as there's still enough demand and not too much competition, it's always going to be valid.
Right. So we'll keep all of the data here and we put dates on it so you can see how old it is, but it might benefit you to go down to the bottom.
Absolutely.
And start there and just go. And what I would do then is take the ASIN, copy it, paste it into Amazon and run, if you want to do that, run the free version of Scope just to see if it passes. If it does, then that data should still be good.
Yeah.
If you're concerned about that and you don't want to have to deal with other tools, then just stick with the more current things or use the keyword section.
Oh, Mike, you had a good question about Great Lakes Wholesale. So yeah, so their IIT brand is you can totally, that's their brand, but and so that's the difference between having a brand and being brand driven. The IIT brand is not a brand driven brand. It's their brand, and so they've said we can take products out of their packaging that's IIT and put it into our own. Now, the only thing you would want to be careful with if it's something that has IIT on the actual item. So in that instance, what I'd probably do is just bundle it or skip it altogether. But they do. So Great Lakes Wholesale does have a few things from like Milwaukee Tools. Stay clear of that. But any of the stuff that's their own brand, it's totally fine with.
Right. It's the licensed stuff.
Talk to them about that many times. Yes, David, good question. What 2 steps are you taking out of the 7-step test? We're taking out the easy to replicate one because that goes so close to not many moving parts. We're just looking for, we could have said just simple stuff. So if you see the screen here, easy to replicate, not many working, we changed that to moving parts. We want simple stuff. And that doesn't mean that once you do this and you get a product launched and you want to do something that has electronics in it, that's totally cool. But assuming people are starting or kind of at the beginning of their private label journey, we suggest doing simpler things. Simpler is just easier. You're not going to have customers complaining about stuff. So we took away the easy to replicate and we took away the price point. And the reason behind that is because if you know what Christy's method is, Christy, Michelle in our group, there's a training in the private label group called 4 Weeks and $100. She did a whole workshop where she shows how she sources products like balloons, for example, that you can get for under $1 and sell for $8 or $9 or $10 or more. And so if you look at something like a pack of balloons that's selling for $8.99, you might pass it up. But man, you might be able to get those for 89 cents. So I'll take those margins all day long. Plus we're finding, that you can be so creative with bundling to get your price point up. So if you find 2 things that might only retail for $8 each, you can bundle them together and that would be 16, but with a bundle, you could probably get 25.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why we kind of did away with price point, because we thought it was too limiting.
Too restrictive.
And it made people kind of just cross out things that they should be kind of taking a little bit closer look at. The brands they own, there's two main ones, Mike, IIT, and there's another one. It's all the generic stuff that you see on their site.
You can Google too. If there's a brand, you can Google it and see if it's related to another company. You can do your own research. You could call them, but a lot of times you can just tell.
I mean, like everything on this page is going to be okay to do. I mean, like 99% of
the licensed stuff, the things that I've heard from the suppliers that say yes to the magic question, they have two things that they'll say no to. One is stay away from any licensed merchandise like Disney and all that, NFL, all that.
Right.
And
real quick, you want to answer Chris's question, and then I'll
Sure.
start thinking about moving on.
Okay, so Chris is asking, when you typed in pot scraper into Amazon, there's already someone selling this exact item. Would you walk away from this item? Not necessarily, but I think where I would tend to encourage people to walk away is if there's like 10 of them showing up on the results. You might be able to position your item differently. Yours will be under a different brand, so it will have its own unique listing, but you might want to find a way to differentiate it as well. It kind of depends on what that competition looks like. So if the listing's really bad and they don't have very good optimization on it with keywords and whatnot that you can do better, then you don't really need to look at them as competition. If you want to get into a space where there's a bunch of pot scrapers that look the same, and this is the only one you have access to, find a way to make yours better. Maybe it's a multi-pack, maybe it's a bundle, or you can always go find another supplier. Here's the other thing with these products that are with the vetted suppliers. What we did, remember, we're taking, it's important to know, going to the supplier first and finding the products they have and vetting them on Amazon. Okay. So that's how this list comes to be. The thing is, you might find that a product, you might find a pot scraper cheaper elsewhere. You might have a supplier that has those and they're cheaper, and Great Lakes isn't the wholesaler that you're going to want to work with. We're not, that kind of comes, it depends on you and who you know and how much research you want to do. We're just providing that this supplier does have that. You can start here and do, you might end up staying with Great Lakes. You might end up just getting some to test with Great Lakes and then finding a supplier that's cheaper later. Mm-hmm. There's lots of options there. So don't feel like, oh, I can only get this pot scraper. If pot scraper is really what you want to sell and you're thinking that that's a great direction for you to go, maybe you can research other vendors, I guess is what I'm trying to say. You could go to ASD and look for pot scrapers and
you'll find a ton of them. And
find one that is a little bit different. You could go in and look at the reviews on these and find that the silicone grip is really awful. People don't want that on that one, or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so you go find one that's different. That's where you would use this information as a launch pad.
Yep. I saw Andrew Milburn posted in the chat, and I know it's late for him, so I want to stop my share and show my screen, or show this. So Andrew, you were asking about the iPad. So it works for me. He was saying, does it only work for a computer because he can't get it to work on his iPad? And so this is mine, and it works just fine. I can click all these links, and it takes me to these links. And so I don't know, maybe I have the newer one. If that makes it shouldn't make a difference. I'm just on my Chrome browser on the iPad, and it works just fine. So maybe to change the browsers. Okay. So.
Yeah, sorry. Great Lakes does have a $500 minimum. Most of the suppliers, they don't necessarily have that, but we're going to show you, if that's out of your budget, we would not, in fact, I wouldn't recommend getting any of these products and spending $500 on one of them.
No.
You're going to want to get just a few, like 10, 15, and send them in, and then run the PPI testing to prove that it's a product that you want to invest in. So does that mean you don't use Great Lakes? Well, not necessarily. You could maybe you'll find 10 products that you want to test. It really depends on you. So Great Lakes may or may not be a good supplier for you. You can go to the supplier part of the private label in a box.
And I bet they'd be flexible with that too. They want your business. So if you tell them you want to order several things, you tell them that, look, you're testing this out. that you never ever order 5,000 units of something. You want to test it on a small scale, but that you want to build a business out of it, and they see that potential, they may not even make you do the $500. So.
Right.
But guys, most of the time, most of these suppliers aren't even that. That's kind of unusual. Most of them are like the minimum is like a case. So, all right. So you wanted to jump in and kind of show them how, guys, this is just this is the information that's there, but what you can do beyond this information. So just be different, take a little one step further on your own. And so if we take pot scraper, and we had it in Amazon.
So we're going to just show you how you can use this as a launch pad.
And we think you should, because there's just so many opportunities besides what's just on here with what we've given you. So we're on this scraper. And this is, if you guys have been on a rabbit trail webinar with us, this is kind of exactly what we do. So here's a very hot selling pan scraper listing. And one thing I would suggest is going down through here and looking at other things, because what the cool thing about private label in the box is that we're giving you suppliers. And so you may be able to launch a whole bunch of products from one supplier. And they may be products that we have never found on, because look at this. Look at all these products right here. We haven't vetted all of these. We've tried a few of these and found some that work and put them on there. There are so many more products. And then when you look at all the suppliers that we have in there, that represents thousands and thousands and thousands of products that you have access to that aren't on the lists that we have found, but that now you have access to and can find it. So if you just know what to do with it, then you're golden. So we look and see that, and to save time, Jenny and I did this in advance. On the rabbit trail calls, we don't do it in advance. We're kind of just doing it completely on the fly. But earlier, we're kind of looking through here and seeing what kind of jumps out at us as generic, non-brand driven. So we saw this scrub brush. All right. And so, again, this is a Lodge version scrub brush. But the key thing is the keyword.
Right. Now, Lodge is a well-known brand. Mm-hmm. I would not necessarily say that it's brand driven. It might be for cast iron pots. I'm not sure for accessories.
But the key thing is scrub brush. So you think about how would somebody search for this this product. So we could just take this term scrub brush by itself. And so what we would do then is do you could just take scrub brush and look and see here. That's going to be very, very broad. That's probably not going to pass because that's just too broad. But
go ahead and run it so we can see. I agree. It's not going to pass.
So that's a fail. But maybe we get a little bit more descriptive. So let Amazon tell you. Scrub brush with handle, maybe. All right, let's try that, and let's see if that passes. All right, let's refresh it. Try it again here. All right, and that one actually passes. So here's how I got, or why that's can be kind of cool, because if you go to Great Lakes Wholesale and type in scrub brush, you see some without handles. There was one in the kitchen in the kitchen section that we found that had a handle with it.
You found that one? I don't know.
Household and cleaning. It was under cleaning supplies.
Did you just?
Right here. So this is the pan cleaning brush with handle. So there's a scrub brush that has a handle, and that could match that term right here, scrub brush with handle. And it has some similarities to some of these products. Some are long, some are shorter. But the point is, it's a scrub brush with a handle. And so you could just take the pot scraper listing and just go a little bit deeper, look and see what else is being sold with it. What else do people buy with the pot scraper? That's all we did today. And we found this scrub brush, and lo and behold, Great Lakes Wholesale actually has one that could fit that keyword, that's relevant for that keyword. All right, and you found the progressive one, right?
Progressive one.
Two-timed.
I went down. On the pot
right here, this one.
Yep, that's right. It was progressive.
So Jenny was on this one.
And I went down and I was looking at what customers who bought this item also bought.
Uh-huh.
And I was looking for things that I thought maybe Great Lakes would have. And what caught my eye was the ice cream scoop. Okay. And so when I go to that one, ice cream scoop didn't pass. I'll just tell you that. So I tried stainless steel ice cream scoop. So I was trying to find something that passed. And then I was going to go look at wholesale at Great Lakes wholesale. That was my thought process. Mm-hmm. Can you do...
Yeah, I think we did that earlier. They didn't have, we did ice cream scoop.
Stainless steel ice cream scoop. Go to Amazon, back to Amazon, and type that one in.
Common wants to see the football again.
You're going to have a following.
That's right. Where's the football at today?
It would be way funnier if it was your head.
It would be, wouldn't it?
We'll have to work on that one. Okay, so stainless steel ice cream scoop, if you run Jungle Scout or Scope.
Do Jungle Scout this time.
It passes.
Okay.
So I'm like, cool. So then I go to Great Lakes Wholesale.
Okay.
And I try to find one, right? Well, they have an ice cream scoop there, but they do not have a stainless steel one, which means I can't really use stainless steel ice cream scoop keywords, that key phrase with it. But this one has a little trigger. Okay, so if I go back to Amazon.
Okay.
And I took away stainless steel.
Okay.
And then I put my cursor on the other side of it, and I found with trigger. Run that. I think it was different. I did ice cream scooper, but let's see if this passes. Yeah. So ice cream scooper with trigger passes. So there we go. Now there's another product I can get from Great Lakes that they have. Yeah. And look at that. Price point's $15. Mm-hmm. It passes well.
Yeah, that passes really well. That's a good one.
And Common said, ice cream scoop with ice cream recipes. There's so many bundles. You can do bowls.
You could easily find PLR for that, couldn't you?
You totally could. Scooping with an
Karen, awesome. You really eating ice cream? That's awesome. I'm jealous. I need some ice cream.
It's too cold. That's funny. Okay. So that was kind of the thought process there. The way to use, you can use this. You start with one, you can go back to the supplier and go that direction. You're just focusing on the vetted products with suppliers today.
Right. So one option, like we just did, we used a pot scraper that is in private label in the box right here. And then we did kind of our own little rabbit trail. We found this listing, then it led to the ice cream scoop. And so we can do the rabbit trail option like we talk about in the rabbit trail webinars that we do. Then the other option is to just go to Great Lakes Wholesale and say, okay, now I know that this company is okay with us switching out the packaging. What else in their catalog could we use? And so this would be the reverse sourcing method. So we haven't gone this far, but what we could do is let's find something we think actually might pass. Silicone parchment paper, maybe? I don't know. I have no idea. Let's try that. Although the word
that's
silicone.
Like a silicone mat. Silicone parchment paper?
That's probably just as a silicone mat, isn't it?
Yeah. That's weird.
Non-stick. We'll see. I bet it does not pass, but let's see. I am wrong.
But look at the sales. Okay, so here's the thing. Right now, I think because we're in Q4 and we're coming out of it, this data is looking at the last month, and it could be elevated. That's pretty close to 750.
Right.
So
it may not be a good one. It technically does pass, but that's a good point. So everything sells more in Q4, and so if
it could or could not be
18,000, we're totally safe. But you're right.
And especially because it's baking and everybody's baking at Christmas time and stuff, I probably would stay away or check, maybe make note of this and check back in a month or so.
Yep.
But
the point is, you can reverse source. We've given you this resource here. We've given you this supplier, so you could look stainless steel cheese sprinkler. Okay, let's take this one. Just grab this.
Paste You're looking for that root word, and you can just put it in there. Now you can do this from the products. You're looking at vetted products with suppliers, but there's also a section in private label in a box that is just vetted suppliers. So you can go there and look at their catalogs.
cheese sprinkler. Let's see it.
Sprinkles.
The all
Cheese
caps was messing
sprinkles.
up. It wasn't. Okay, so that doesn't have enough products to even.
Mm-mm. I wouldn't call it a sprinkler. Cheese.
Cheese.
I'm not sure what, but
Cheese.
let Amazon tell you. Cheese.
Cheese jar. No, I don't know. Like that thing. Plastic cheese shaker.
Shaker is better than whatever that sprinkler.
There we go. There we go. Cheese shaker. Okay, there we go. Let's check that one.
Cheese sprinkler. That just sounds wrong. I don't know why.
It does, doesn't it? There
Look
we
at
go.
that.
That passes.
That's a good one.
That's actually a really good one. And so we found a keyword, cheese shaker. And here is the place where you can get it right here. This is on Great Lakes Wholesale. So that's the reverse method. You can just go through, and you guys, this is something you can have a VA do. I think Common set it up there. You can have a VA go through and do this. Once you train them how to do this, they could do it for you and send you a list of leads and say, okay, I've gone through the whole Great Lakes site, and here's the X number of products that pass the 5-step test. Or you can give them your parameters. All right. Let's see. Any other questions, guys? A comment. I can get you the the extension. I don't know, the one I have is beta.
For scope.
Yeah, the scope and the Jungle Scout one.
Yeah.
I can get you the. Let's see here. Let me stop my share real quick. I can find the. I know, Common, you're asking about the one that I have, but it's the beta one. But I know some of you guys don't even have that one yet, so let me send it to you.
For scope or Jungle Scout?
The Jungle Scout one. The scope one is one that's not public yet. He just is having me test it out to make sure it's okay. So guys, I think that, Jenny, is there anything else other than any questions that we might have missed?
I don't think so. Can you go back to the main page for private label in a box?
Mm-hmm.
So that extension with Ryan's head, basically someone in our group, they created an extension that sits on top of the Jungle Scout Chrome extension, and they're working on the one that sits on top of the Scope extension. So you have to already have Jungle Scout or Scope, and then that sits on top of it, and it basically takes the 5-step test and runs that, so you can just see it quicker without having to add up the first 10 and look at the reviews. So you don't have to have that, but.
Karen, good question. So all products of theirs can be taken out of their package and put in ours. Almost all of them. The issue would be like for Great Lakes Wholesale, for example. Let's see if they have. When I was at ASD, like this, for example, Milwaukee Tools. This is a major brand, and so they're a distributor for Milwaukee Tools. And so you wouldn't do this one, but like 99% of their products are just their generic brand. Let me see if I can find one that has.
Right. It's use your common sense. That's
JMK.
Yep.
Yeah, JMK is their brand. IIT is their brand. So yes, with those brands, you can take it out of the package and put it into your own.
Okay, so Elizabeth's asking, are these products individual testing for private label and not bundled, or when would you decide to bundle? That's a great question. It's really up to you and what your margins are. We bundle to get margins to have a higher price point. When you see products on, like Ryan, he said this very quickly, but if you go to one of the Amazon listings, Ryan, like where it had the scrub brush at the bottom for the pot scraper, and then it said customers buy this with, on that listing, it shows Amazon tells you what customers are buying with that, and then they'll say you can buy all of these for this price, and all they're doing is adding those prices together. But the people who are looking for those bundles are convenience shoppers, and they're willing to pay a little bit more. So Amazon might say the total of these individually is $19. You can probably add $5 or $6 to that easy and sell that as a bundle. So it might make more sense for you to do it that way. It's a little bit harder to replicate. So there's not as many Me Too products. Like someone had asked about the pot scraper. If there's a bunch that all look the same, you don't want yours to be up there too. You want to do something to differentiate yourself. That would be a reason to bundle. Now, and you can also there's some strategies with keywords where you can collect more data on a bundle than individual products, because you can run ads on the different parts of the bundle too. So that answers that. I wanted to bring up, okay, what we're going to do here, guys, the point is to dig into each section of private label in a box in this webinar series. So we covered a lot tonight, not just the products with vetted suppliers.
Mm-hmm.
We did an overview as well, but we're going to get into the supplier part on another webinar where we'll just look at the whole list of suppliers, and we'll talk about how to best use that information. We've gone over that a little bit tonight, but just wanted to let you know what's coming. So if you feel like there's some holes and, well, wait, what about this? We'll get there. We're going to go through the whole program and show you what's available and how to use it. I think what we're looking at trying to do them monthly.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, we want to do monthly, at least that. If you guys have other ideas or other questions, and we hear enough people asking the same question, we might just do an impromptu one or something, but we want to make them regular. So did you wanted to be back on this page? Did you want to show something?
It's all right. No, it was,
okay.
I just wanted to see the menu to show the other areas, what we'll hit, but.
Yeah, so next we'll probably do the vetted products without suppliers on the next one.
Mm-hmm.
And then go into vetted suppliers, and then probably do keywords as a whole.
Yep.
Daily webinars. I don't know about that.
We are doing daily webinars. It feels like, but we're just
guys would be like, no way, no more.
No. Okay, Jean had a question. It says me, but it's Jean. Oh, never mind. It's a comment. I love it. It can be a very simple way to differentiate your item from anyone else. I thought you were asking, is there a very simple way? But yeah, doing a bundle is a really easy way to meet a need. And Amazon tells you what the customers are buying with those products. So it's not a complete shot in the dark when you're creating a bundle. Yeah.
Common had a question about, we were doing hourly webinars, Brent. That's right. Seems like it. We did that last hour. So Common asked about the advertising module. So I just said, PM me, let me know your ideas on that. So if you guys have ideas about ways we can make this better, like we said at the beginning, this is your service. We are honestly here to serve you. And like Jenny said, it doesn't make sense if you're not here. So we want things that obviously meet your needs. So if you have ideas for things that would make it better or really cool, or let us know those ideas. We'll figure out, see if there's a way that we can meet that need for you. So yeah, and we'll put this replay at the top of the products. Here. You want to put it there? I thought we probably put it in 3 places. We probably should put it in 3 places. Is that what you said? Start here, the announcement. Under products, we'll probably put it in both places because it has the overview as well. But vetted products with suppliers, it will probably replace that video that's there. Yes. Yeah. So the replay will be available there for you guys as well. But if you have questions about this, you can post them in the Facebook community for Proven Private Label. Yes, that's fine. That's kind of where we're doing that. So if you feel funny about posting a specific product or something like that, you can PM us. But use that community to post about it. It kind of helps people know about the service as well. So cool. And guys, I'm going to save this chat so I can see it. Okay. You know what, Colin? You'll only PM at 4 a.m. I learned the hard way to turn my sound off in the middle of the night. I think it was like the Q4 groups. It was before that. We did something with a co-op with people, and we had a couple hundred people, and all of a sudden in the middle of the night, my phone was buzzing like crazy. So I do not, I won't answer you at 4 a.m. unless I'm up, but I might. Yeah, Brent, you're right. Most of them are for Chrome. There's nothing really we can do about that. I don't create the extensions. Wish I did. That'd be actually, I don't want to actually have to do that. But just find people that are smarter than me to do that kind of stuff. But yeah, a lot of them are for Chrome. Chrome must just be set up better for extensions. Yeah, I don't know. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate all of you. And we'll talk to you later. Thanks for being on.
Thanks, guys.
All right, bye.